Howdy peeps, it's been a little while since I've done a video. So this one I haven't even listened to. I've been, well, before I carry on, I've made videos, I need to re-listen to them, upload them, or make that decision to upload them. Some of them are a bit spicy, but not in the kind of spicy that I'm totally comfortable with uploading, because there's repercussions sometimes from these things, having an opinion on something. I mean, God forbid. It's like the thought police, right? I'm just saying. We're kind of there already, but anyway, this video cropped up, and it's one by Pearl Davis, and you know, just the opening introduction, I just started laughing. So let's have, for those of you that have been following the whole MGTOW and the original Crimson Pill, right? The real, not some of these entertainers or this new wave of Crimson Pill that we've had come into the community yet again. And let's listen to it.
You know, I actually think it's crazy that Fresh and Fit haven't gone mainstream, because the amount...
Let's just stop that. Haven't got, they are mainstream. It's like, how can you not see? You guys are the Crimson Pill mainstream. You know, you've taken something that other content creators, and I'm talking about the originals, right, that really actually kind of helped a lot of guys out, you know, understanding how they got to where they're at, understanding the ways of the world, but more importantly the world's I suppose, yeah, the world that is the dating and relationship game, you know. And now you got these guys, this new wave of Crimson Pill, and they seem to think that, you know, they're not the mainstream. It's like, look at the amount of followers you have. Like, the real, in my opinion at least, and this doesn't come from a place of vanity or ego, because I've got less than 1,000 subscribers, you know. This is purely from the basis. I'm not saying that my content is greater than theirs. The message might be delivered somewhat differently, but a lot of the time, although they're inviting people into their studio or whatever it is that they have, again, despite being having some backlash, you know, I suppose in that kind of instance, this is when that these other channels, these new wave channels, go mainstream, and they get criticised for it. But then this is the thing, the way they're going about it isn't the same way. In some instances, I sort of think that they've just done it for the sake of being able to insult people, like, and just, you know, make fun of people's lack of intelligence. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is a humorous side to that as well, but yeah, I think when you're doing it in public and as regular, and you're so blasé about it, and you think that there's, you know, no repercussions, well, they got demonetised. Of course they got demonetised, like a lot of other Crimson Pill content creators have done, because we say stuff that hurts people's feelings because it's the truth. You know, it's not about hurt, you know, it's not about just like the whole toxic masculinity that you all hear about. For the most part, we're just speaking the truth, just saying shit for what it is. And if that hurts people's feelings, it's like, well, hey, we've all been in these situations, that's how we're capable of talking about them. And being able to be empathetic with other guys and sympathetic with other guys that are going through that, you know. But some people don't want to learn. They seem to think, if they just do things differently, that things will pan out. And yeah, to a degree, they kind of will pan out differently. It doesn't take away that the factual matter that hypergamy is a thing, monkey branching is a thing, and you know, the reality is, unfortunately, despite the fact that we hear lots of chicks saying that, oh no, they're really interested in a guy's personality, they're not. I don't think so. A lot of the time, especially on like places like dating apps, you see that they want to go travelling the world, and it's like, what, do you want someone to fund that? Is that what you're here for? You want someone to fund your worldly travels? Or do you want the company and the companionship? Do you actually want someone decent by your side? But the trade-off being is they may not actually earn as much as they want them to earn. There might not be a triple figures. They might not be over 6 foot. They might not, you know. But let's carry on, because this is all related to where this is about to go.
Points. The amount of points these guys make is just insane. So there's a clip of Myron that is going viral on TikTok.
Why don't you get his pen 15 out of your mouth, love? Oh man, I've got to say, even Pearl has been annoying me of recent, where again seems to be a bit of a grifter and just, you know, picking up certain slogans and learning about certain topics ever so briefly and then making out like it's some new thing, again despite the fact that a lot of the original Crimson Pill content creators have been doing it for probably what, 15 years, maybe more. I'm just saying, right? But yeah, let's carry on.
Where he is predicting that all of these women nowadays on social media are going to be mentally ill in the next 20 years. Let's take...
In the next 20 years. In the next 20 years. Bro, they're mentally ill now. Right? A lot of them are mentally ill now. Like, not in 20 years' time. You know, they're on the social media for a reason. It's usually one of two, or both, right? They're either in it for their own vanity, because they want the validation, they want all the guys to like them, and then whichever guy they may find attractive enough, or air quotes worthy enough to be in their presence, they may choose for a partner, at least for a time. But the reality is once that, you know, understanding the ego and vanity and validation and how that affects the ego of the individual, it's an addiction. They want more and more and more. So if the guy that she chooses seems to think that she is going to be his be-all and end-all, then he will probably have another thing coming, probably anywhere between within 3 to 6 months or maybe 3 years. Either way, that addiction doesn't just go away, and it's something that it's so openly accessible now with the internet being what it is. I mean, look how easy it is. You can get TikTok account, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, you name it, YouTube, all of that, and other platforms as well if they want to reveal a bit more. And again, not really, it's that short-term gratification without any thought or insight towards long-term, you know, consequences. And whereas they do all these things, and we hear about it quite often now within the manosphere, about these girls that do their OnlyFriends accounts, you know, the spicier type, you know, and it's like, oh, now they're complaining that they can't get a decent guy. And it's like, well, you sold yourself short, you sold yourself out. Like, there's nothing valuable about you because there's a price on it, even if it's $5 a month. And like I said before, if a man's willing to pay $5 a month to see some pictures or some videos of some chick, you know, well, for an extra, what, $15 or maybe $45, I don't know what the going rate is for sex workers, but they can have the real thing. So not only can they not, you know, if that individual guy then wanted a relationship, they should realise at least that, you know, due to this constant necessity of validation from guys, they're probably going to have a whole ton load of beta male orbiters. And again, they're the backup guys. If it doesn't work out with this guy, if this guy doesn't give me enough validation, I'll get it from these people. You know, the mental illness is already there. And it's not just about a basic addiction to validation. It's more psychological. It gets deep-rooted within the person's psyche. You know, it's heavy stuff, but it's true.
The next 10 to 20 years, you are going to see a spike in females having mental instability problems because of all the attention they're getting thanks to Instagram. I have seen...
It's already there, bro. Not 10 to 15 to 20 years. It's here now. It's been here for years. The difference being is, perhaps because I'm a bit older, I've seen the generations across, well, from when I'm a Gen Xer. So, not that I think your youth life really counts for much. It's more when you actually start becoming more mature and worldly aware. You know, this has been something that has always been a thing. This is why chicks put on makeup. This is why chicks alter their hair in certain ways, or they dress a certain way, or, you know, and again, a lot of the time, whether they're competing with themselves as to who can get the best guy, or who can just look the nicest or the prettiest down at the club, the problem is already there.
Girls, right? Like female celebrities, right? From like the 2000s, etc. They're all going crazy. Why? Because they hit the wall. They're not able to have the same sexual market presence they used to have 10, 15 years ago.
I mean, look, realistically speaking, even put the wall to one side for a second, because I've met plenty of chicks that, you know, in terms of age-wise, you'd have expected them to hit the wall, but they still work out, they're still really good about themselves. Unfortunately, a lot of them have still made choices that affects their dating life as well. You know, single mums, it's like they haven't got enough time to distribute between, and also they, you know, it's that thing of like, well, you can't expect a single mum to put you before their kid, because if they do, then that makes them a bad mum. And, you know, if they can't give you as much time as what they give their kid, even though you know as a guy, like, you know, it's like, well, it's going to be expected that they can't dedicate as much time to you because they have another responsibility there, so they can't meet you on the same page, so this becomes a problem for them. And then there's also those that maybe haven't had kids, and they still look after themselves, they're in shape, they still look pretty and everything, but the truth be told, it's like, they're a bit crazy. You know, and don't get me wrong, crazy is fun, crazy is wild, but it's a roller coaster. And it's like, how much of that roller coaster of a life do you want to live? Do you want the ups and downs? And it's like, you know, like I've spoken so much about on the channel, like personalities, psyche, ego, personality disorders, and all this. All these are things, these are situations that affect women later on in life, and men too. You know, a lot of guys won't date anymore because they've had too many of these relationships where it's just been a roller coaster, you know. And again, it's not limited to chicks that look pretty or are, you know, very attractive in that sense or whatever. It can literally affect any type of chick because there's a market for everything. So it's not even 10 to 15 years. It's like the problem is here now, and it's being passed down to the younger generation by role models. You know, a lot of time it was, you know, such as like within the music industry. And if you've got someone like Taylor Swift twerking on stage to a lot of 12-year-olds, well, the 12-year-olds are going to think it's okay because Taylor Swift is doing it, and they idolise her. You know, it's just a bad show for everyone. So, but I don't think I really need to go through all of this.
Here's the scary part. There's girls right now that have not maybe Britney Spears level fame, but damn near close Instagram model type chicks that have that same level of attention that they're getting, that Britney Spears was getting in the early 2000s.
Yeah, but again, it's from guys that don't respect, that they can't respect, because again, they're not scarce. You know, the guys aren't scarce. There's millions of them worshipping them, as it were, buying their bathwater, you know, buying their used socks, shit like this. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's just kind of ironic, really. They're talking about, you know, 10 to 15 years. It's like, no, the problem's here now, man. The problem's been here for a long time. I suppose, welcome to the red pill. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you all for listening. Thoughts, comments and opinions, feel free to jot them down as always. I'll throw a link in the description for the full version of that video if you guys were interested in watching it. I don't know the rest of what he says, but till the next one, have a good weekend, stay cool, stay free. Peace out.